So I'm not really entirely sure how to start out this video. I just have to say that this demo is equal parts crazy fun that I never expected to come across, and excruciating confusion on several choices made by the developers. Let's just jump right on in. Developed and published by the London-based studio Milk Bubbles Games, GladiEATers is an upcoming JRPG, roguelike, minigame, cooking, creature collector?
What is happening?
Okay, so this is going to take a lot of time to explain, but just stick with me and I promise I'll paint a better picture of what this game has to offer. In the world of GladiEATers, gene scientists discovered the cal particle, which can animate the calories in the food, bringing them to life. So what do you do with food that's alive? Of course, you create a whole army of food and fight one another to the death. Luckily, some sort of peace was created, with disputes between nations being solved through the newly formed GladiEater combats that took place in coliseums across the globe. From there, we are introduced to a roster of characters that each have their own unique backstories that have influenced the type of food monsters that they utilize in combat. Take, for example, the aptly named character Eggy, who specializes in the various number of ways that an egg can be prepared. Each preparation of the egg changes the strength and utilization of the food that you serve, but how exactly do you prepare these dishes? Through a cooking mama-like minigame, of course, duh. These rapid minigames force you to do things like wash your vegetables, boil or fry an egg, and eventually create strong dishes to serve to the battlefield. Your performance during these minigames will impact the stats of your dish, and each cooking method will reveal a different dish that has a variety of abilities. You must use these dishes in a variety of modes, like the story mode that gives you insight into who each character is and what motivates them. In the demo, there is only one small story for one character, Eggy, where you must work on your family's farm collecting eggs for sale, but one day your grandmother gives you a cal particle to let you become a GladiEater. After playing through some stories, you may want to put your skills to the test by going through the roguelike style Coliseum mode. Here you're going to be pitted up against the other chefs in a random order, with each battle becoming more and more difficult. In between these battles, you're given a small amount of time to work on new dishes or perfect the ones that you already have, and each chef you defeat grants you a currency that can be used to unlock new dishes, enhancements, or cosmetics for the GladiEater of your choice. After you've gone through enough practice, you can even take into multiplayer mode, although I'll say I never gave this a shot. But the point is that there is a lot to keep you occupied. However, that doesn't necessarily mean everything was done perfectly. Okay, so with everything previously mentioned, it's really what I love about the game. It's weird, unique, and just an overall fun time. But then I started encountering issues, with one of them literally being game breaking that brought a lot of concern to my time with the demo. Firstly, I love the soundtrack. It's vibrant, and each character has their own theme that makes them stand out. So I started to take issue with the idea that while your monsters are attacking one another, the music decreases in volume and then increases back after the attack. The real issue is just how noticeable this is after multiple turns in a row, and I just never really cared if I heard the sound effect for the attack. Pokemon has some iconic soundtracks, and they never reduce the volume for it. In fact, some tracks would make people crank it up to 11 just to get pumped for that battle. So I find it as a weird choice to want to minimize something that the game did really well. Another minor complaint that I have is that there really should be some sort of reference guide to show you what paths you need to progress down in order to cook what you're looking for. Now, I know this can be learned over the course of the game, but when you have such a short time to dedicate to the minigame challenges, it would be beneficial to have some sort of plan laid out before you start to boil an egg that you should have cracked first. On top of that, the timer you get is really short, and I wonder if instead each individual component is on a timer, and you're given the ability to choose 2 or 3 cooking methods, because there were many times where it just wasn't worth it to even start another dish, even though it was objectively better to have more dishes served to fight. Also, during the story mode, I think there is some confusion as to who is who. Many times the character named May keeps calling someone else May. Now, maybe they have the same name, but it did just seem like it was a mistake that needs to be fixed. and speaking of story issues, while going through Eggy's story, the grandmother has a health complication issue due to the news that the family may lose the farm. But it's really hard to get that information when the music being played is this. Regardless of that, there was one other aspect that really hindered my experience. During a Coliseum run, I began using a curse with the deviled eggs. This curse reflects all the damage my team takes back onto an intended target after a given number of turns, or automatically once the deviled egg that cast it dies. I would cast this on each member of the other team and then set up my hard-boiled egg to burst out of its shell, with each deviled egg using the ability to pump up the attack at the cost of dealing damage to my entire team, which would only increase the damage reflection to their team, and would eventually kill off the deviled eggs and create a large amount of damage in one turn. I gotta toot my own horn here. I discovered this combo, I don't know if anyone else has, and I love it. I felt super smart when I got it. However, when this combo would go off, it would regularly break the game. It's almost like the game didn't realize that a dish had been defeated, and it was waiting for it to take its turn. The only way out of this was to quit the run and pick it back up at the start of the match. But this happened so often that I genuinely had to redo the final battle in the Coliseum run at least 5 or 6 times in order for me to actually be able to even complete it. In the end, GladiEATers is an extremely interesting and unique experience, but it is heavily hampered with some quality issues. I fully understand that this is just a demo, and with no official release date set, there is plenty of time to work out the issues, but I still need to hold it accountable for all things minor and game breaking. The upside of this game is it's huge, and even though I do think that it may not have a lot of replayability, once you get through the individual stories and maybe a few runs in the Coliseum, the time you'll sink into going through all of that will be significant enough to make up for that. Again, there is no official release date for this game, but I highly suggest checking out the demo if it looks interesting to you. But with that, that'll be it for this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and as always, be kind to one another. Shoutouts go to Relativity, Naughty Dog is King, Chaos, and Kamiko alongside all those subbed to the channel. If my computer will stop crashing, I have a big video coming your way soon, so I hope you stick around for it, but either way, I will see you soon.